All right, let's do this. It is Tuesday, June 6th, 2026. Oh, where do I start? I guess I should start at the transports. Third day higher, 1.7%, 18,000. 18,000. I cannot, dear listener, viewer, emphasize how important this is. They don't call it the old leader for nothing. And I know, your level of apathy is so off the charts, I don't even know where to begin. But this is something that's important. You should know how important this is, but most of you don't care. I understand if you don't trade any transport stocks, fine. But just because you don't trade something doesn't mean it isn't probably one of the most important things right now. Look, we're above 18K. I've been talking about this since the transports was around, well, 15,000 in October. I said to my own dear subscribers, the direction that this breaks out of will give you a clue, will give you a pointer as to where the main market was going. Look at where it stalled in kind of mid-October, 16,000, pulled back a couple of days, and off we went again. 16.5, which broke above those highs, pulled back, but even when it pulled back, I'm like, hey, we've done it. We did it there. And off we went. And now, last 2 weeks for consolidation, well, almost 3 weeks. And we have 3 days up, 18K. Perspective matters. Look at this. Weekly chart. Look at that candle. We're up 2.8% on a week. We've taken out the high from November of 24. And now we're up from 12,000 in April, which is, what's that? 5,500 points, which is, what's that? 40 odd percent, roughly. More perspective. Perspective is everything, dear listener. It really is. And I know some of you don't care. A few of you do. Look at this. 4, 8. 8 months up of 9. Again, this is just like consolidation. 18,033. That high is gone. The only high we have left now is that high, 18,246. Now that high was skewed, I believe, by Hertz, which went up like some ridiculous amount. So the transports put in I would almost consider a rogue. It wasn't a fake print, but it was an extremely skewed print. So it was like you can see it didn't last. So you can argue, ignoring that print, we have a massively decisive breakout. I would note the last time we broke out, having gone from 64.81 above 12.5. 12.5 to 18.2 is 6,000. 6,000 on 12.5 is about 47, 48%. Because you could draw a resistance line across here from about, call it 18K. You think, okay, how much we're going to go up? 20K is soft target. But why wouldn't you expect more than that? After chopping around for the better part of what? 5 years. 5 years of chop. Broad chop. And we're now pushing. We're breaking up and away. The implications are clear. Implications for the S&P, for Dow, everywhere else. Oh, by the way, yeah, for Dow. Did we already forget that? I didn't note it anywhere today, but look at that. Near historic high. Nobody seems to notice or care. Of course, the S&P had a near historic high, but, look, 3 days up. Again, you could argue, we've been chopping around a lot. You can say, you can even argue, oh, look, we broke below the 50-day. Market doesn't really care. We had a false breakdown there. Partly skewed by the fact it was the holidays, or ahead of the holidays. Yeah, we're up to 7K. 7K is pretty straightforward. But yeah, this is the one you really don't care about, right? transports. The old leader is telling you where we're heading. We're going to go to 20K. Not this month, clearly, but in February, no, probably not. March, April, we'll be at 20K. That's about what? 12, 13% upside in an index. So some stocks will be up 40, 50%. You should know the names. What is that? I could almost leave the video just leave it at that. Because that's what matters, but people don't care. Hey, go ahead and be short something and see how that works out. The other thing, oh yeah, copper. I've been droning on about that for a while now. Look at that. Okay, actually, oh, that's annoying. Actually, no. According to stock charts, we only printed 606, but well, I guess yeah, it was in between futures prices. But anyway, 606 new historic high. I mean, look at this. We're going up. What else? Commodity gold, I guess we'll look at. This candle yesterday from stock charts, that's a wrong. It's just a bad, stupid candle. I will agree that officially gold settled up around $46 today, 1%, 44.92. But yeah, ignore that candle. That's wrong. If we go to silver, silver had a strong day, $4.59. What's that? 6%, 6% to 81.17. So we haven't broken the overnight high, and it was an overnight high of 83.62. We could put in a double top. I would be open to that. And on any basis, we are crazy high oversold, overbought rather. This isn't good. It's a risky trade. I mean, you can, again, I wouldn't short it. That would be even more stupid. But the risk is that we start calling back and then we chop around sideways. And again, I've been noting this for ages. Note for 10 of May. You can be bullish with a stop around that. Well, that's a long way. It's a long way down. So it's, even the bold would have a stop no lower than about 72. But even that's over 12% down. So I'm not trading it. I'm not trading that right now. But at least I'm not stupid enough to try and be shorting it, because that would be even more stupid. What else? I don't have the UK market, but Japan did print a new historic high overnight, right? Yeah. We've technically broken above the November high. Doesn't look like we did on here, but we did. And of course, there's China. I mean, look at this. Nobody cares. We're 4,083. See how we chopped around here, which was natural resistance. We're on our way. We're gonna go to 5K. That's 24% up. 24%. It's a long way. And it's even that number's still way below the high from 07. And I understand if you don't care, but it's another index. It's telling you if the China market is at 5,000, the S&P is going to be somewhere north of 72, 7,300. So you could even argue that if the China market's 5K, S&P will be 8 by late summer. Again, people don't care. They should, but they don't. Oil don't care. Bitcoin don't care. Oh, there's a lot of interesting movers today. Where do I even start? I mean, look, Apple was down 1.8%, but hey. Actually, I need to retract that. There we go. So yeah, I mean, Apple's short-term bearish, but look at it. We now are officially oversold. RSI is 29. This is the lowest since the April low. At some point, probably in a matter of a day or two, we're probably going to form a floor, and off Apple will start to join the party again. Of course, we have Apple earnings probably the very last day of the month, maybe. But yep, I don't see any realistic risk that we're going to go down here. I mean, it's not a great long right now because we closed right near the low of the day, so that doesn't bode great for Wednesday. But again, the idea of going short Apple when it's this oversold already is just stupid. All right, we're out trying to get bogged down and stuff. Agnico up 3%. Sydney Sweeney, look at this new cycle high up 4%, almost actually 5% on the day. I think the next resistance is around 31, if I recall. First Majestic Silver, look at that. Wow. 9.9%. It's impressive. AMD down 3% despite Lisa Su. Again, you could even see yesterday's candle was a reversal from the 50-day. It's okay. It doesn't have to go up every day. And you could argue that it's going to come back down to tag red gap before it resumes upwards. Amazon, who delivered to me today. Very good service. Very good service. 3.4%. I mean, look. Why would you not expect a new historic high, right? Earnings will be good. There's no question about that. Barrick Mining, new historic high at 4.4%. It's a good sign. Boeing moderately higher. Yeah. Doesn't have to go up every day. I've not marked the gap on this one, but that gap doesn't look like it's going to be tagged anytime soon. Okay, how about that? Bank of America up 0.5%. I mean, it did print a new historic high yesterday. Oh, what a mess. What a sorry mess. Caterpillar, which Ray Dalio likes. He also likes sister stock John Deere. Up 1%. New historic high coming, right? They're probably good. You know what they're going to do? They're probably going to do a stock split on this one as well. Kamiko, got to be bullish nuclear and uranium. Carnival don't care. Cleveland Cliffs. Coin. Spurious drop. Okay, Deckers was up 1% or so earlier today, but it did close down a bit. But look, it's 107s. It's holding the breakout threshold. Again, the breakout was actually last Friday, confirmed on Monday, and today is just a little bit of weakness. In fact, okay, no, it's not a reversal candle today. It's just basically down. But yeah, soft target 125. That's where it's going, and more broadly 150. That might take until late summer, but it's looking pretty good. Disney up, don't care. I did hear the one story I did hear, but it was that news that Kathleen Kennedy is going to be replaced by Dave Filoni. Some in the Star Wars community are not happy about that either because they think Filoni is a bit of a woke lunatic. But, you know. Energy, we've got to cover energy transfer. I mean, it's just a lot of broad chop. I think the yield's about 7-8%. You know, there's a lot to be said for a good yield. The problem, of course, is cheap oil. Endeavour Silver up 8.5%. That might be a new historic high, but don't quote me on that. I'm not going to bother checking. Ford 2.5%. That's pretty good. Freeport McMoran. Oh yeah, of course. Copper new historic high. Freeport up 3% in the 56s. Freeport has a good chance at getting to 100. If you assume copper can get to $7, which to me looks easy, whether it's probably maybe not until the summer, right? But if copper's sustainably above 7, Freeport it's gonna have a good chance at 100. Oh, look at it. It was 35 in late September, 56 now. It's not going to be difficult to get to 70 to 80. Google, just a bit of another tech stock just cooling back. Home Depot. I highlighted this during the day. This is impressive. Yesterday's candle was a hollow red reversal, which leans bullish. So we had a little bit of morning weakness, but look at this. Boom. Closed up 1.5%. Bullish engulfing candle. We have a higher low from 329. This is good. This gives confidence that we're going to eventually push above the 200-day at 369, and probably, looking at 390. Yeah, 390. Earnings will be out in early February. So yeah, 390 to even 400 in February looks probable. I like this one. Yeah. Nicola. Wow. Oh my God. Heckler up 12.9%, $22. Look at this. Nobody gave a damn about Heckler when it was just subdued in the fives and the fours, and then the breakout. Look at, this is a great example, right? When it broke up, it never looked back. Little tiny sporadic drops. And look at this. The 50-day acts as support there, a little spike there, and then it, a little washout here, and then bam, off we go again. You got to ask yourself a question: when, not if, when silver's above 150, what should Heckler be? So if silver's 150, Heckler should be what, $50? I mean, there's a good chance that we'll see Heckler at $50 by year end. Makes me wonder about long-term option calls on Heckler. Maybe I'd be buying the 35s or 40s. Yeah, I don't know how much they would be. Probably at least a couple of bucks though. Intel, up 1.7. Joby, air taxis are a big theme for the year ahead and into the next decade. JP Morgan, look at that. Another new historic high up 0.6. I did see somebody on X talking about Goldman. Okay, Goldman did not break a new historic high, but, doesn't have to do it every day, right? KKR, up 0.9. See how tiny the candles were? Very subdued, and then it finds a floor at the 200-day. And it blasted off yesterday. Today was just pretty good broad upside. It's clearly got to take out 144, right? I used to be short this some months ago, down about here. But when I saw that candle in early November, it's like, whoa, that's a flooring candle, and we had a test of the floor there. And it's like, okay, I guess KKR's got to go up into January. It's another one you can't be shorting. Kinder Morgan, yeah, the energy stocks were down today. Spurious cooling, just kind of like I would accept that yesterday we saw a little bit of mild hysteria on the Venezuela event. And a lot of the stocks had black candles yesterday. This one had one, and it's an ugly drop. But you can see, you know, people are buying this for the yield. I think the yield is like 4.5%, 5% maybe. Free, it's got a break above 67. LEU. I mean, got to be bullish nuclear, right? Lockheed. I mean, look, you can argue, okay, it's overbought. Yeah, today's candle's spiky, which you can argue maybe we can come down. We have two downside gaps. We have one from today and one from the Monday gap. Um, there will be new support will be around the old high of 512. So maybe we just come down to kind of tag 500, 500, we open at 517. Yeah, we can drop $5 tomorrow morning and then floor out and off we go again. We got to be bullish the energy stocks, right? I mean the defense stocks. Meta don't care. MP 2% black candle, short-term bearish of only a few hours. Long-term bullish MP. Microsoft's trying to build a floor. Yeah, look, 464, 470, 469. The buyers are willing to get involved. Micron, yeah, hell of a day. Look at that. New historic high up 10%. There are huge memory shortages, and this is caused always AI companies buying up everything and anything they can get their hands on. Incredible. Look at this. It was 61 in April. It's almost up by a factor of 5. You got to wonder now, okay, how high can this go? 400, 500? If you assume the S&P's 8K by late summer, why would you not think this has a good chance at getting 500 by late summer? It's extremely risky. Well, I mean, you can have a stop at the 50-day, but that's almost $100 down. That would be too loose of a stop for me. Netflix, new cycle low. No clear sign of a floor yet. Not great. Nike, early morning weakness, and I called it. I said it in early morning, but the smart people are just buying into every cooling wave. Stock went from down, it was down like 0.9% in the morning, closed up 1.3. It's about to fill teal gap, then go above there. I think this is for a bullish breakout, for a midterm bullish breakout, you need to go above 70. To me, that seems probable within a matter of not this week, maybe next week or the following week. And once you go above 70, then next target is 90. Remember, story there was Tim Cook bought some, and then the story here was the CEO bought some. I was going to buy there, but I guess not. NVDA, again, semicons just cooling back. I'll close, which is where the hot money goes up 7%. Orbs, don't care. Blue Owl, don't care. Occidental had a stupid drop yesterday. It bounced 1% today. It's a great company, right? But Pan American Silver. What is that? Is that a new historic high? Yeah. Actually, I think is it 55.69. So just a touch short of a historic high, but I mean, momentum's trying to turn positive again in like a day or two. Incredible. So again, if silver's 150, Pan American's 100, right? Michael Berry's short Palantir up 3%. I mean, it's not one I would be shorting. I don't like the company for various reasons, but trying to short it, not so good. Broadly, this is just PayPal's just a zombie stock. Red Cap, again, just consolidating the last couple of days of gains. Transocean, don't care. Black candle, I should probably delete the chart, but wow. Hadn't noticed that one today. Rocket Lab up 10%, 86. They're making a serious push for 100 now, aren't they? My guess is that this could be a $200 stock with a SpaceX IPO this September. Of course, it's going to be vulnerable to sporadic drops. You see in the previous high, 73s, came back down, floored 37s just above the 200-day, floored up the 200-day in April. So, I mean, the 200-day right now is like 50-odd% down. That's a problem. It's a risky trade in terms of chasing it at 80, $86. That's I mean, you could have a stop on it at like even ironically, if you just put a stop at today's low, 74, that's $12 down. So the buyers piled in this morning and bought this one up. Little bit of hysteria in this one. I'm not a fan of stocks with hysteria, but hey, got to be bullish. SMR up 4%, a little bit choppy, but that's okay. We have a solid floor from the 13s. It's 1957. It's got in my view, it's got to take out 57 and be $100, probably by year end. No, I do not own. I should, but I do not. Maybe I will soon. Target, solid gains of 2%, 104. Basic target is this little green gap here around 115. My grander target is 145. If I jump to the monthly chart for target, because this is one of those stocks, one of my key signal stocks, but is in the process of breaking up. Look at this. We have a marginal double floor from 84 to 83. We're above key price threshold. We're above a 10 MA for the first time since late 2024. This is significant. So I'm looking for around 145, which is around there. That level, it goes all the way across there. See that little point there? That's why 145. And 145 is $41 up. That's about 39%. Probably, maybe not until maybe not until the end of the summer. But you know, there's a trade there. Tesla. Yeah, not pretty, right? The 8th day down of 9. Again, recent vehicle sales data was just garbage, but you know, we knew it would be. And that's a problem. And we're not oversold yet. Remember Apple, yeah, Apple was like an RSI of 29. Tesla's not oversold yet. We're still 41. We could go down, you know, 400 maybe. Again, think about this. Tesla was down 4%, and that was with the main market broadly higher. So I even put it in one of my posts today. I think it was the 3 o'clock. And that people say, oh my God, the market is so dependent upon Apple or NVDA or Tesla. No, it's not. That's just a mainstream lie or delusion. The market is not beholden to a single stock, and that includes Tesla. It's a great example, and people won't talk about it. No one will talk about it. Tesla can go down for days or weeks, and that does not mean the main market gets smashed. Main market doesn't care about Tesla or Apple or NVIDIA right now. It doesn't care at all. That's 3 big stocks. The market, or Netflix. I just want to play the game. That's all I'll say about that one. United Airlines up 2.3%, kind of in line with the index. In fact, there might be a new historic high. But I'm not even going to bother to check because I don't want to. Uranium Energy up 3.9%. Again, bullish nuclear, bullish uranium not just for this year, but well into the next decade. Oh yeah. Do I want to talk about this? Because I've already spoken about it in my subscriber page. But look, what have I been telling you? Huh? Look at it. Does it matter to any of you? Do you really not care? I really think the majority of my readers actually just don't care. I can even zoom in on this. I'm gonna zoom in. Like, let's go down to this little candle. It's because it's just a tiny little candle. There we go. Let's scroll down. Look at that little candle. That is a bullish breakout. It's not a marginal one because we could argue yesterday was a test and we called back a touch. This is a bullish breakout. You could even argue, I mean, some people would argue, oh my God, it's an island reversal candle and we're going to go down. I don't think so. I'm calling it, it's a bullish breakout. We're 348. Target is this big giant green zone, gap zone. So there's a threshold around 460. It's actually slightly different from this one, but we have a gap. Let's go back out. And the gap starts officially at 472. 472 is $124 up. $124 on 348 is what? 30, 38, 39%-ish? Basic. I don't like the phrase. I don't like the phrase easy money, but to me, you have a bullish breakout. the straightforward money is to that. And you got to wonder how many people are stupid enough to try and be shorting that. It's incredible. The more I think about it, I think how many people are stupid enough to literally be buying puts or just shorting the stock right now. They're shorting it on a breakout. There are people out there shorting it. I don't care what you think about the company. I don't care. It doesn't matter what you think. That's a bullish breakout. And if United Health is trading around when, not if, in theory, when United Health is trading in somewhere in green zone, not January, clearly, February, probably not, maybe March. It could be trading in green zone by March, April. I would be shocked. I mean, in theory, I guess you could argue that, hey, we're going to ramp up on get momentum building. We're just going to reverse upwards like the opposite of this. But it's another one of my stocks that I've been talking about relentlessly in the last few weeks that's broken up and away. This is telling you where the S&P is going to go. It's telling you the direction. It's telling you that it's going to be up for some months. Again, it can be little sporadic cooling waves in here, but I wouldn't, you can't get hysterical about that kind of nonsense. We're going to green gap, aren't we? And again, I said 38, 39% up. Incredible. But most don't care. Exxon, down 3.5%. Just you could argue it's just a retrace. I mean, look, it doesn't have to break a new historic high every day. So, yeah. Chevron, sister stock. Again, another good example. Black candle, bearish. How many times do I have to tell people that? It's like it's a bearish sign. It means that the stock closed up. Clearly, it was closing above that close, right? But it means it's a sign that the short-term bulls are tired. Bearish. And look at it. What did it do today? Oh yeah, you can see what it did, right? I mean, I've not marked it on a chart, but you can see for Chevron, it's basically just filled the gap. That's all it did. The smart money will be looking to buy. I mean, yeah. Oh, is there anything else? Not really. You know what I'm going to end with? I'm going to end with transports. Why not? Let's end the way that we started. I mean, look at that. 8 months up of 9, 18,033. Again, I would kind of dismiss that high there, but we're clearly going to take that out, and off we're going to go to 20K. And I would note that we're not overbought yet at 63, but when we do get to 70, it is possible that we can remain overbought for like literally an entire year. In fact, if I drag this chart out one extra year, let's actually take it to 14 years. Okay, yeah, you can see it was borderline overbought in 2013 at 66. Then it went up another 2,700 points, which was 30% or so across a year and a half ish. Why can't we get 30 odd percent from here? 6,000 points would get us to 24,000 by 24,000, 24, yeah, 24, 25,000 by spring 2027. And yeah, these are kind of interesting divergences in terms of RSI, and they did play out. Especially this one here was interesting, and that when we broke down here, that was That was an interesting look. I mean, that's an interest. Isn't that interesting, right? Just before the COVID hysteria, right? We maxed out precisely on trend. The market was telling you we were facing some problems in early 2020. And ironically, of course, the transports, even with that collapse wave, we never did get oversold. We tend to get overbought in the transports, but never oversold. But anyway, I think let's just I want to get a screenshot of this properly. Let's go to that one. That's better. But yeah, look at that. 18,033 and hardly anybody cares. The irony of that, huh? Anyway, without becoming negative about anything, and I tell you, the news stories today are terrible. It's horrible, right? It's just horrible. Endless darkness on this planet. So watching the market is a pleasant distraction during my day. So regardless of an immediate term, the transports is telling you where we're going. Same for copper and silver and gold and the miners and a fair few other stocks. United Health, Nike, Deckers, and the one that shall not be named. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. But I wish you a good evening and a good Wednesday. I wouldn't expect too much tomorrow, but hey, you never know. Be good.